It's me, Coach Dad today. Just thought I'd hop on here real quick this morning. Happy Saturday morning to everybody. Um, just kind of record a quick episode here about my journey as a youth coach. It's something I never thought I would do. Um, it's ended up being very rewarding in a lot of ways for a lot of reasons. Just thought I'd jump on here, kind of share my experiences, how I got involved, and things like that. But first, if you could do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button down below for me. Appreciate you joining me again. So, last night we had a scrimmage with my son's 8U coach pitch team. And it kind of got me thinking, hey, I ought to make a video about this because I think that there's a lot of dads in particular that maybe have some apprehensions about uh, coaching youth sports, coaching their son. They're scared too. They don't know how to get involved. They don't know if it's for them or not. And I can promise you, it is for you. If you're a dad, you love your kids. Um, it's for you 100%. And I'm not saying you're a bad dad if you don't coach your sons or daughters' teams, but just sharing my thoughts on the subject. Just first, I guess I'll tell you how I got involved. A couple years ago, I guess it's been about 3 years ago. A buddy of mine that I played high school baseball with, against actually, asked me to help coach a t-ball team with his son. I would help him coach, and my son would both be on the same team, rec league ball, and so I did. Never thought that I would like doing it. Got in there. It was very intimidating for me at first, just going into it. But once we got in there with the kids and started to actually do baseball activities, and I got to see my son interact with other kids, make new friends, learn new skills, interact with other coaches. That was a big one that was very it was a very good thing for me to see because there's a lot of things that I think youth sports teaches young men and women, and not the least of them being able to take instruction from people who are not their parents and not their teachers. So pretty interesting stuff. But anyways, we got into that. I ended up loving it. Um, there's always kids on the team that are a little bit harder to deal with than others. It's unavoidable, really, unless you get into travel ball. But even in travel ball, you end up having some of that, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But we ended up having a pretty successful couple years of t-ball coaching. We actually went to the championship game in 6U t-ball. We ended up getting beat by another team that, look, apparently whenever you go to the championship game in these rec leagues, the rules change a little bit. They change it to, in t-ball, they change it to a 6 inning game with an hour and a half time limit, and we've been used to playing an hour time limit and only getting 3 innings in. After 3 innings we were winning, but we just didn't have the gas to hold off this other team. Ended up losing by 1 run in the last inning. It was a heck of a way to go down, but it was packed with life lessons for the boys. So I was glad to be a part of that. Kids got a second place ring, so it was all good. Everybody loved it. And from that point on, I could tell I was absolutely hooked as a coach. Chasing that feeling. Not for me. I mean, I've won plenty of rings in my life. I've won enough in my life. Um, it was more for the boys, seeing the looks in their eyes whenever they got the ring, whenever they realized that, yes, we didn't win the championship, but man, we made it all the way to the championship, and all these other teams didn't. So it was very rewarding in that way. Um, But anyways, we moved on. And so after that year, we decided that, you know what, we really like our group of kids. Let's try to keep them together. Are they the best? No, no, they're not the best, I wouldn't say, but they're good. They're good as a team. We decided we would dip our toe into travel ball and coach pitch. Not really sure what we were thinking there. But we got into it. We played the spring season of 7U coach pitch, and everybody's first full year of coach pitch, basically. Picked up a few more players. Um, we were a decent team, but we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Um, Rec ball is a whole nother conversation. Maybe we'll do that on another day. Another coach's corner, if you will. But yeah, we got into it and we got throttled most games. We won one game and we came close on a couple others, but we were not in the right league, my opinion. So we tried to, being hard headed, me and the other coach, we were like, all right, well, let's split this up and see if we can recruit some more players, have a 7U and an 8U, because my son had to move up to 8U. His son didn't have to. And we ended up having a 7U and an 8U team under the same umbrella. And didn't go that well this fall. We kind of dabbled this last fall. The 7U team, they looked much better. They absolutely did. The 8U team, we were better, but for those of you who don't know much about travel coach pitch, apparently when you go from 7U to 8U, the freaking boys turn into men. Because I'll tell you, there wasn't very much defense being played in 8U coach pitch because they're absolutely ripping the ball. There are seeds being hit all the way to the fence. I think I could count on one hand how many fieldable ground balls there were that year for us. So we lost every game. It was tough for me because I the main thing that I care about as a coach is the boys. And I felt like we were losing their attention, we were losing their love for the game. Some of them hadn't really learned to love the game just yet, and we were kind of losing that prospect of them ever playing again, quite frankly. So it was a hard decision, but I decided to go ahead and pull the plug. And after the end of the year, the fall season, that is, I decided that we were going to leave rec ball and we were going to come back to. I mean, excuse me, we were going to leave travel ball and come back to rec ball. But it wasn't an easy decision, but I know it was the right decision. Kids weren't having fun, and for me, this whole coaching thing is all about fun. It's about development and fun. I have to be able to develop their skills and just teach them lessons about life. But it has to be fun. It has to be fun along the way. So we came back to rec ball, and we just over the last few weeks have had our team assigned to us. We were able to keep 5 of our players from the rec ball team, so we got a pretty good core of players who are all buddies. You're doing pretty good this year. Doing pretty good so far. Scrimmages look pretty promising. But let's get back to the subject at hand here. Why I want to talk a little bit about why I coach. I mean, because most people think probably, oh, you coach so your son can play, shortstop every time. Well, no, that's not me. I don't do that. My son, he's not going to be a shortstop right now. He's physically behind some of his peers at this age. He's small for his age, basically. Doesn't always mean anything, but he's improving tremendously, and he enjoys playing the outfield. And the main thing is, the reason I really like coaching is, number one, I just like being out there with my son, doing something with my son. So this is for all you dads out there who have some apprehensions. Let's talk about those things. The good parts of it. You get to be out there with your kid. You get to be out there in an environment where it's easy to make for them to make friends. And let me tell you, these friends are friends that are going to last a lifetime. I don't care how old they get, they're always going to remember their coach pitch team that they went and played in the championship. You don't have to play in the championship, but you get the point. They're going to have memories for a lifetime here, and you get to be a part of that. And it's a huge thing. And it's not just the kids that get to make friends. It's also the parents, because I know as parents, when we have kids, we're like, well, I guess I'm never going to have any friends anymore. I guess I'm never going to be able to do anything anymore. Well, guess what? Sporting families are tight. And man, we know how to have fun. Yeah, we do. Whether it's pizza parties after the game, some of these travel games we tailgated before games. So I mean, you can do it as big as you want to do it. And these are, look, if you're all playing sports, you're most likely like-minded people. Okay, you love your kids, you like doing stuff with your kids, and you're busy. It kind of gives you all a reprieve to be able to all come together, and you can have some adult time out there in the crowd, out there in the stands. So don't feel like this is something that's going to take away even more of what you think was your social life. It's actually going to add to it quite tremendously. I mean, all of my great memories as a kid had to do with being on a ball field. So this is important. This is why it's important. All the social aspects, they're huge. And another reason it's important to me is my father growing up was not around. Um, I really leaned on the counsel and the influence of my coaches as I grew older. So for me, this is also kind of uh, I really want to be able to be a positive influence in kids' lives. And it sounds corny and cheesy. I know Blake's making stuff up, trying to yuck it up for the camera. No, it really is, man. The more that you get into it, the more you realize that there are so many different kinds of kids out there. All of them have different personal issues and social issues, and to be a part uh, of a system that helps to break down the walls that they have. I've got 3 kids this year that have never played baseball. Never. I've got a couple that I don't know if I've heard them say 2 or 3 words, but I've been able to kind of bring them out of their shell because, I find something that they do right and I try to like nurture that into something even bigger. It's just so rewarding being able to see these kids grow. And this, again, this is just stuff I never thought I would say. I never thought I would actually be bragging about teaching life lessons. I mean, goodness gracious, it makes me feel old. I'm sitting here talking about this, about teaching life lessons and drinking black coffee on camera. What does that say about me? I guess that means I'm old. I, I don't know. Coach Dad in the house, but yeah, another one of my favorite parts of coaching youth sports that I've found um, is not only the kids that are new, it's also the coaches. We had a scrimmage last night against a coach. He'd never coached anything before. He came to me before the game. He's like, "Look, man, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Never coached before. How do we usually run these scrimmages? Are we going to have umpires? Um, how are we going to do? What is does? They said that the pitcher had to wear a mask. Do they really have to wear a mask? Do you have a mask we can borrow?" We ended up sharing the pitcher's mask, just wiping it down in between innings. But it's seeing, it's also rewarding seeing those parents that have finally decided to take the step and become a coach, because it means a tremendous amount to these kids that you were there, and to be able to put aside your ego to be able to step up and do that is a big deal. So I mean, I was very complimentary of this guy. He's great with the kids. He doesn't know a ton about baseball, but that will come. He'll learn. I've already told him that I'm happy to help him in any way that I can, as far as passing on, maybe some mistakes that I've made over the years or anything like that. So it's not just about the kids, it's also about the coaches, bringing along, young coaches, young dads that are out there with their kids and just want to have a good time. And I really think that that's what this is all about because sports teach us a lot. They really do about life. And coaches are an integral part of that. And I'm just so happy to be able to be a part of that and looking forward to sharing some more of our progress and maybe some funny stories along the way without naming any names. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a weirdo. But the kids always give you good material to tell stories about as we go along. But looking forward to it this year. Looking forward to a great spring out there. I know all you coaches out there, all you dad coaches, coach dads, whatever, are out there and can't wait to get started this spring season for baseball because it's getting fired up right now. A lot of you in travel ball probably already wound it up. But yeah, looking forward to it this year. You guys, if you're interested in coaching, just jump right in. Don't be scared. Happy to take any of your questions, to answer any of your questions about coaching and how you can get involved. But until next time, this is Coach Dad signing off.